Alberto has finally made landfall, but not as a hurricane nor a tropical storm, but as a subtropical system. Alberto has been traveling north throughout the Gulf of Mexico for around the past 2 days, and with that it has been pulling tropical moisture all the way from the Caribbean Sea all the way to the northeast. But yesterday near the Baltimore metro area there was a stationary cold front just sitting there, and with the influx of the tropical moisture coming all the way from the Caribbean Sea, the stationary front provided the energy while the tropical moisture provided the moisture needed to dump 5 inches of rainfall in about 2 hours. And as you know, 5 inches of rainfall in about 2 hours is a no-go for flash flooding, and that's exactly what happened in Elliott Key City. I think it's pronounced Ellicott City, I think I pronounced it right there, but it just completely got deluged in rain in about 2 hours, and this is not the first time it's happened to the city. About 2 years ago, it also got the same potential rainfall. And with that short amount of time in rainfall, there's some videos online of kind of a river running through like the main streets of Ellicott City. It's actually absurd that no one has officially died from this event. This is ridiculous what is seen on camera. One person's missing, but that's all far we know right now. Ellicot's gonna start their cleanup, but just thinking about it's happened in the 2 of the past 3 years, that's ridiculous. They might have to rethink their city planning or something, because this will likely happen again sometime soon. Although according to the statistics that this is a 500-year event, that means it happens once every 500 years. Well, it's happened 2 of the past 3 years, so it's kind of likely that's gonna happen sometime soon. And I'm not talking about next year, I'm talking about 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now. But getting back to Alberto has now officially made landfall in Panama City, Florida, the nice panhandle of Florida that was kind of predicted, as I said in the last video. But the precise location of Alberto making landfall wasn't determined because it was just definitely a broad circulation, and on the bottom part of the eye wall there's really no rain at all because the dry air has just been eating that section up. The only part of Alberto that really only is proving to show that 50 miles per hour, which was yesterday at 65, is now downgraded back to 50, but it's only that northwestern quadrant. So just showing you an example of what happened with Alberto was making landfall, and then Panama City was in the northwestern quadrant, but now that has since passed. So Panama City, it's practically over for you and practically almost over for anyone on the coast east of the center. There's definitely going to be some more rains kind of looping back into Alberto center, but that's really it. You made it through the worst of Alberto's intensity. The place that Alberto hit the worst was not where it made landfall, but all the way in middle of Cuba. Over the past day, I've been keeping my eye on the radar and just looking around Alberto Center, and I see all the way in the corner in Cuba, there's a bunch of rain just dumping on the central city of Cuba. I'm showing you the radar right now, and I'm not even kidding. It's been raining in that central place in Cuba for the past 24 hours non-stop. And it's not just light rain, it's moderate to heavy rain, so it's non-stop. The media in those locations saying that Cuba has gotten 12 to 17 inches of rain. 12 to 17, that's actually ridiculous, and I can't even imagine the situation there. There's gonna be a lot of flooding definitely there in that location. The sad part is that it's still gonna rain throughout the night, so who knows, they could get up to 30 inches of rain, which is getting to Harvey territory. That right there was the worst of Alberto, and it had nothing to do with the wind. So like I said, even if it was a category 1 hurricane, that wouldn't have mattered. It was all about the rain from the beginning. If you take an overall perspective at Florida, really for South Florida to Central Florida, part of that peninsula, the worst is over for you. So Miami, we're in the clear. But for the places that are not in the clear from Alberto is that central part of Cuba, still the panhandle of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and yes, all the way north to Ohio and Indiana, because that's how far Alberto's gonna go. It's already raining up to Virginia and Kentucky with Alberto's moisture. It's already reaching that far, but Alberto Center is sure gonna reach there in a couple of days. There's 2 reasons why Alberto never made it to category 1 status, even though it was at a time 9 miles away from it. Number 1 is because of that dry air going into Alberto Center. Watching it yesterday night and that dry air in the satellite image just coming into the center, I knew it had no chance at a hurricane at that very point. But along with that dry air, the mild temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico, just around 78 degrees Fahrenheit, did not help the situation at all to strengthen it. 78 degrees Fahrenheit definitely supports tropical development, but it doesn't boost it up to a category 1 status that fast. The weird thing is that the official hurricane season doesn't start until 3 days, but we already got this full-fledged system with subtropical Alberto. Even though it isn't a full tropical system, it's kind of got everyone's guard up for this 2018 hurricane season. It's a good warning sign to anyone living on the Gulf Coast or even out in the United States looking at this news that the hurricane season is coming. It's just getting started, but Alberto has satisfied my taste buds, and I'm excited for the rest, or for the start of the hurricane season. I'd like to thank everyone who's watching and all of my subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one.